Yo, what's up, Rom Royalers? It's your boy Atro here. Got another video for you. Actually, Wack had posted in Group Me, wanted to know what my tips were for troop placement. He and I had a skirmish, and I told him I've been really working on where I place my troops, and because it does have a profound effect on how the matches turn out. So I wanted to bring you two different replays just to kind of illustrate a little bit about what I mean by troop placement. So when you first start out the game, you kind of just spam your cards, thinking that troop placement doesn't really matter. But the more you play the game and the more you lose, which I've lost a lot, you start to see little nuances of how to avoid just getting completely rocked by a counter or another card. So go ahead and look at this first match here against Hendrick. It was a 3 crown, so you can see what I'm running. I've been running this deck for a long time. So it's a hog freeze combo, but it also runs spear gobs. It runs barbarians just for sort of counter troops and minimal damage, arrows, and minion horde, and then pump. And then the one card I wanted to talk about that I think a lot of people overlook, I overlooked it too, is Zap. Zap is an insane card. I don't think people realize how good Zap is. For only 2 elixir, you get a stun. It can kill spear goblins, 1 mana skeletons. It can basically render a group of minions useless. If you hit a group of minions with a zap, your tower will take all 6 minions in the minion horde out before they reach the tower. It does just enough if you want to get one more hit on with your hog. It just stuns. It retargets inferno towers and cannons and X-bows. Zap is an insane spell. If you can work Zap into your deck, definitely do it. It doesn't work in every deck, but it's very good. So that's my pitch for Zap. But let's go ahead and get started here. Watch this match. Look at what he's playing with. He's playing with the gimmicky 3 Musketeers combo. I played with it too. He's playing pump, so he's trying to pump up a bunch. He's got Prince Dark Prince. He's got the ice or the princess, which I wish I had. It's the legendary I wish I had. Playing wizard and barbarians and tombstones. So you'll see he'll drop barbarians and then he'll play a wizard behind it, or he'll drop prince and drop a wizard behind it. So that's his basic deck. So let's get into watching this. At the beginning of this match, I had some very bad trades, not really knowing what his deck was. So a lot of the beginning of the game is trying to fill out your opponent. So he plays pump. I don't have my pump out right now, so I already feel behind because I have nothing good to play right now. So usually when I get to 10 mana and I don't have a pump in this deck, I'll drop 2 mana Spear Gobs. And so I drop that. He plays Prince. I'm like, okay, crap. I play minions on the other side as a sort of counter. He plays Princess. I'm like, really crap. So I played arrows over there, and then I dropped Gobs. You actually, the Dark Prince doesn't do a ton of damage to the tower, even with his charge. So if you have to, you can let him go, but I wanted to get a nice counterattack going. So I dropped the Barbs too, which took minimal damage. So I have my Zap queued up. I get beat on this trade too. The wizard just eats my troops alive. I tried to stun him. It wasn't enough. The wizard lived. I mean, it only has like 1 hit left, but it's fine. He plays Prince, so now I'm like, oh gosh. So one small thing I did for troop placement, you can see here, is when you have cheap troops like goblins and 1 mana skeletons, play them in front of the prince or even to the left or right. You want to make sure you're in range of the prince, otherwise he won't divert. But I was able to drop these spear goblins in just enough time to at least divert his action. So we'll see. It's not going to matter because I'm in really big trouble here. So his prince is already hitting my guys. I have nothing. I had to drop minions, and then his wizard got the final hit in. So I'm thinking like I'm completely screwed here. So he plays Tombstone. I know I'm in trouble. My minions countered it really nicely. His princess, I decided to freeze, and these 2 little minions did over 1,000 damage to this tower. I mean, that was a really nice trade for me. So, by the way, if you go up against Princess, pretty much likely the guys you're going to see playing it aren't going to be that much higher than you. So arrows almost always kills the Princess, and yes, you should always arrow the Princess if you have them. I mean, maybe if you have a big horde of skeleton army, maybe you wait, but the Princess is a nightmare for small troops if you're playing sort of a small deck like I am. So now he drops 3 Muskies, and I'm like, this deck is crazy gimmicky. But here's where the entire match turns completely in my favor, and why troop placement is so important. So if you count up what he played, 9 for the 3 Musketeers, and 5 for the Dark Prince, or 4 for the Dark Prince, so he played 13 mana. So he played 13 elixir here, and you watch where I drop the troops, because his Dark Prince starts. I'm not really worried about the Dark Prince. I could play it in front of him, and then he charges, and all the musketeers do all the damage and crush all my troops and the tower. But I decided to play them behind the Dark Prince. Stop. Okay, the Dark Prince got the charge in. That's fine. But I dropped right in the middle of all of the 3 musketeers. So as this plays out, you'll see I get that musketeer. I also dropped stun. So I dropped stun just to stun them for long enough to have them restart an attack. My tower kills the Dark Prince, and I kill the last musketeer. So I mean, I'm feeling like really good about that trade right now. Even though he does have more elixir than me with his pumps, I decided to go over and let's see, we're just going here. Let me double speed it. But I just wait. I decide to pump up again. And then he drops barbs right on my guys, which is fine. That's the problem when you lose a tower. They can drop barbs right on your tower. But when we talk about troop placement here, he placed his tombstone in the worst possible spot. I don't know what he was going for, but he knew I had hog. And so I dropped it. He dropped his tombstone, and it was too far out of reach. My hog didn't divert. And you can see, because it didn't divert, he's going to get burned here and lose a tower. Now we're on equal ground. So now I was able to counter his prince with barbarians. And if you can get the minion horde out in front, like, not in front of the prince, I should say, but like enough to where they can get a couple hits and they can completely take out a prince before he gets to your tower. So now he's got full elixir, but I've got a ton of troops coming in. Freeze is wizard here. He basically did that at this point. Obviously, he has 10 mana. He's not doing anything. He knew I pretty much had bested him at this point. So I got the 3 crown. Gave him the BM freeze right on his tower at the end. But you can kind of see how troop placement really does matter. And again, it's just something that you want to pay attention to, because it doesn't seem like a big deal. But you can turn troops around, you can re-guide, you can guide troops wherever you want, and for the most part, certain troops you can't, like hogs, giants, are going to go for defenses, but if you place defenses correctly, you can draw them out. So I'll illustrate another point here. This is a match I just played earlier today. So I'm going with level 8. And the first thing I do here is we're both kind of building up. It's usually most people will do that. I played a pump. Now, a lot of people will say, why don't you play the pump in the back? That's fine. You can do that. However, it's much better, and it's really a good insurance policy to play it in the front. So even if you get 1 or 2 elixir, it's like, so let's just do it from a math perspective. I spent 5 for that elixir pump, and I'm going to get 7 mana back if it lives its entire life. So that's a +2 for me. That's fine. But if he drops a giant to counter it, so let's keep the replay going. He drops a giant to counter it. So he's spent 5 elixir, and I've spent 5 elixir. Fine. So even if my I can take out his giant and my pump goes down, we still trade. So you can see here I dropped the minion horde. That was kind of key there. I dropped the minion horde on top of the musketeer. I know the giant is a big threat, but it's slow. It takes a bunch of hits, and I still have barbarians up. So I wanted to play if you didn't have arrows there, I wouldn't even had to play the barbarians. So keep going here. So I know I have to play barbarians, which is fine. It seems like I've overcommitted here. However, I spent 5, and now I have a full barbarian. So it's almost like he had no giant and I played barbarian. So I lost my pump, no big deal. He plays wizard here. I actually missed the freeze a little bit. I missed it 1 shot too late. It canceled it. It killed me in the dark. However, you can see how much damage I'm making on this tower. Just 3 bars. I got the counter. I'm already going to over 1,000 damage, and my tower's going to get hit. So he plays 3 guys here. I decided to play spear goblins in the back. And then I know the bomber's coming after me. He does get the hit in, but I did stun him just enough. He plays Goblin Barrel, and my minions diverted, which is really nice. And he's basically broke here. So I'm going to get to go over to his tower, and he really has like nothing to counter me here. He plays Musketeer, but I really have basically 1 hit left on his tower. So I know I have that tower in the bag, so I really just need to defend. So I decided to go ahead and pump here. So play the pump. He plays minions. He didn't know I had arrows, so it wasn't a bad play on his part. But my tower started shooting at the musketeer. You see how I diverted? So it diverted. The musketeer started shooting at my pump. I'm still probably going to get 5 mana out of my pump, so I netted out 0. But I had to spend 3 mana for arrows, and I countered his 5 mana minion horde and his musketeer. So again, playing the pump in front. If you lose it, it's likely that they spent 4 or 5 mana to get rid of it anyway, and as long as that doesn't come to your tower, you're fine. So always play the pump in front. I mean, there are very few situations where you want to play in the back. So I played Spear Goblins here. I knew all I needed was to get the so I was fine. I played the barbs in the back because I was at full mana. So I knew they were going to take some wizard. I decided to play the minion horde on top of his wizard because I knew once his wizard had targeted the pump, I was in good shape because my minions only take 1 hit to kill the wizard if they're all hitting him. So I basically just need to not lose here. So I played Spear Goblins, played Barbarians right here again, queued up arrows for his Goblin Barrel, and then played the Minion Horde right on top of his Bomber and his Musketeer. He arrows, fine, don't care. Played a second pump. I know I'm good here. He's not going to be able to get to my tower with only 14 seconds. I have freeze backup. I have Spear Goblins. I have stun. He plays one more Desperation Goblin Barrel. I have arrows queued up for it. That's the other nice thing about the deck that I'm playing. It cycles so fast. I can get back to pretty much any card very quickly. But I hope you guys learned something from this video. Let me know what you think. Like I said, troop placement is very important. I've lost so many games being just bested by placing troops in a crappy spot, but I've won so many games as well, being able to manipulate the troops and fight on my side of the field, essentially, with my troops. So hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you think, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.